Chapter 6. Skip saw the eyes open, lurched backward, hit something with his heel, and went down hard on his back. The flashlight flew out of his hand, hit the concrete floor, and rolled in a wide arc, throwing a spinning blade of light across the walls. Skip screamed. He sounded like a girl screaming. He rolled to his hands and knees. The flashlight had come to rest against the base of the wall. He crawled for it, screaming the whole way. His hand found the barrel. He snatched it up, and he ran. He hit the wooden door with his shoulder and blew through it into the lab. His flashlight beam swung wild across the room. Skip continued running. Dennis was 2 steps behind Skip. He had not consciously decided to run. He heard and saw Skip, and his legs automatically followed. Dennis hit the corridor several steps behind Skip. Their footsteps echoed and multiplied, and it sounded like a dozen people were running behind them. Please don't let it be her, Dennis thought. Skip was fast. He pulled farther ahead. Skip reached the first room with the desk and the cot and the calendar and blew through it without slowing. Dennis heard him bang off the doorframe and curse, but the footsteps never broke rhythm. The upward slope of the corridor hit Dennis in the thighs. He was breathing hard, pulling air through his mouth in short gasps. The ceiling felt lower than before. The walls felt closer. His flashlight found the main corridor and Skip's back, 20 feet ahead, and then the steel door and the rectangle of green light beyond it. Skip burst out of the bunker into the clearing. He stumbled on a vine, caught himself, and kept going. Dennis came through the door 3 seconds later. Skip was already on his Honda, fumbling to start the thing. The engine turned over and caught. Skip kicked it into gear and shot forward across the clearing toward the trail. Dennis started his own machine and followed Skip into the jungle. The trail was narrow. Branches whipped across Dennis's arms and face. He tucked his chin and kept his eyes on the red tail of Skip's four-wheeler. The canopy closed over them, and the light dropped, and the trail twisted, and Dennis felt the rear end slide on a curve, and he backed off the throttle. Skip didn't back off. He hit the fork and went right without stopping. Dennis followed. The trail dropped and curved and narrowed. The undergrowth thickened. Ferns dragged across the handlebars. The ground got soft, muddy in spots, and the tires churned through it. After a quarter mile, the trail dead-ended in a wall of vegetation, thick trunks, hanging vines, no way through. Skip stopped. He sat on the idling four-wheeler, chest heaving, staring at the green wall in front of him. Dennis pulled up beside him. "Wrong way," Dennis said between breaths. Skip didn't answer. He was gripping the handlebars so hard his knuckles had gone white. "Skip, I know. We have to go back to the fork." Skip nodded. He didn't move. "It's just back to the fork, then we go the other way. That's the way we came in." "We take that to the main road and we're home," Dennis said. "I know," Skip said again. The jungle was loud around them. Insects, birds, things moving in the canopy overhead. "You good?" Dennis asked. Skip took a breath and let it out slowly. He unclenched his hands from the handlebars, flexed his fingers, and put them back. "Yeah, I'm good." They turned the four-wheelers around in the narrow trail, a clumsy process that involved backing into ferns and pulling forward and backing up again. Dennis went first this time. He kept the speed reasonable. The fork appeared after a few minutes and he went left, the direction they should have gone the first time. The trail climbed, the ground firmed up, the canopy thinned, and the light came back, and Dennis felt something in his chest loosen. Dennis finally stopped at the junction of the road that led from the airstrip to the mansion. Skip stopped beside him. Her eyes were open, Skip said. It was a reflex, nothing more, Dennis said. "Are you sure?" Skip asked. "Of course I'm sure. Probably something to do with the gas escaping," Dennis said. Skip bobbed his head up and down. "That makes sense. The eyes freaked me out." "You want to go back?" Dennis asked. Skip shook his head. "No, do you?" No more exploring for me." "Maybe Brian has the right idea," Skip said. "How so?" "Booze and girls." "Maybe," Dennis agreed. John put his cameras into their respective bags, except for the Hasselblad. He was having difficulty setting it down. 3 hours of shooting, and he had hundreds of frames. His back ached from crouching, kneeling, lying flat on the hot stone to get angles. It was worth it. Reluctantly, he put the Hasselblad away, zipped the last bag shut, straightened, and turned around. The swimsuit tops were gone. Carole was on the center lounger, Margot to her left, and Diana to her right. The three of them were lying on their backs, faces tilted toward the sun. John spun back to the Hasselblad bag. "Don't even think about it," Carole said. "Think about the future. You're sitting in your rocking chair. You're 80 years old. These images would be proof of your youthful perfection," John said. "Youthful perfection," Margot mimicked and laughed. "Forget it. Come join us," Carole said. She was right. The content was for her social channels, not a skin magazine. One leaked topless photo, and Rhea would have a stroke. Carole's father would have 2 strokes. John would be unemployed and possibly buried on this island. And he pulled his t-shirt off. "John." "Yeah?" "Have you seen Brian?" John looked around the pool deck. The table with the umbrella where Brian had been sitting was empty. The scotch bottle was still there. The glass was gone. "He was here earlier. I saw him get up during the 3rd outfit change. I figured he went to the bathroom. You want me to find him?" "Would you mind?" The photography job had always come with personal assistant duties thrown in. John didn't mind, and Carole never made it feel like servitude. She asked. She said please and thank you, and, most importantly, she paid well. "Back in a minute," he said. He tried the kitchen first. Loggy was prepping something that smelled like coconut and lime. John checked the main living area. He saw empty. He walked down the hallway and knocked on Brian's door. No answer. He tried the handle. The room was empty. He found him in the den. It was a smaller room off the main living area with a wet bar, leather furniture, and a flat screen on the wall. Brian was face down on the couch. A glass sat on the floor. John walked back to the pool. "He's sleeping in the den. Do you want me to wake him up?" John asked. Carole's jaw tightened. "No, let him sleep." Margot rolled onto her side, propping herself up on one elbow. "Do you mind if I put John to work?" Margot asked. Carole lifted her sunglasses. "How?" Margot sat up. She reached into her bag and pulled out a bottle of sunscreen. She held it up. "This." Carole's mouth curved. She looked at John. "How do you feel about that?" "I think it will be disgusting, but I am willing to suffer." "Reluctantly," John said. Carole laughed. "Go ahead." Margot tossed him the bottle and rolled onto her stomach. She folded her arms under her chin and settled in. John knelt beside the lounger. He squeezed a line of lotion into his palm and started on her shoulders. Margot's skin was warm from the sun. He worked the lotion across her shoulder blades and down the center of her back, spreading it evenly, trying to treat it like a professional task. He was a photographer. This was skincare logistics. Sun protection, SPF application. He reached her lower back and stopped. "Keep going, I don't want a sunburned butt," Margot said. John looked over at Carole. Carole had pushed her sunglasses up into her hair. She was watching him with open amusement. The corners of her mouth twitched. "You heard her. And then you can do me and Diana," Carole said. Diana giggled. John squeezed more lotion into his hands. He took a breath and continued south. He kept his touch even, businesslike, thorough. Margot didn't seem to notice or care. She lay there with her eyes closed and her face completely relaxed, like she was getting a spa treatment. He finished Margot and moved to Carole's lounger. Carole rolled onto her stomach without a word. She turned her head to the side and closed her eyes. John started on her shoulders. His hands moved down her back. He knew this back. He had photographed it from dozens of angles in dozens of outfits, but he had never touched it. The skin was softer than he'd expected. He reached her lower back. He did not stop this time. Carole said nothing. She didn't move. Diana was last. She was grinning when he knelt beside her. "I feel like I'm at a resort," she said. "You are at a resort. I'm the staff." He worked the lotion into Diana's back and finished the job. He wiped his hands on a towel, sat down on the warm stone at the edge of the pool deck, and looked at the three of them stretched out in the Pacific sun. "As far as I'm concerned, this trip has been a wild success," John said.